So gaming is becoming one of the fastest growing areas in the cryptocurrency space. Not just powered by GameFi, but by the plethora of good games that are coming out recently. In fact, I know many investors that are they're investing in this space, but they will only touch games. That's the only one category that they will invest in because they see this huge amount of unexplored potential. Today, I'll talk about Meta Wars, why I really believe that this type of game, this genre of game is really going to succeed and what they are playing right. If you like more videos like this, make sure you slash down that button down below. It really does help this channel grow. And of course, just click like, subscribe, comment what you think about Meta Wars down below. And as always, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am a big gamer. And since we're talking about big video games, it kind of makes sense, right, to watch this video. So starting off, what is Meta Wars? So Meta Wars is what I see is a combination of both a sci-fi game filled with spaceships, but also robots as well. So it's almost like a hybrid, if you like talking video games, hybrid between EVE Online and MechWarrior. So you kind of fight on the ground level, taking terrain, taking land, using that to build up your empire, build up your industry base, build up your ships, and then of course, rinse, repeat, battle on the ground again to dominate and fight for more land. Now, why am I excited for this type of game? It is because sci-fi games, they are great for economic development. And this type of game offers the most potential for a player-based economy, for players to both earn in this game, because everyone's talking about play to earn in this game. Now, this type of game offers the most opportunity for players to play to earn. I know this is the biggest fad word coming around. Everyone's like, oh, talking about play to earn. Let's get people to earning in video games, let them have fun and make money on the side. But also what I feel like is that in order to power that, you need people who are paid. Now, this is a touchy subject, but let me hear me out on why space games, why sci-fi games in particular are really good for this. First and foremost is because if you do have units in this game, you're expected to pay for maintenance and things can get destroyed. This is quite important because if you play Axie Infinity, sure, Axies can fight, but you don't really expect Axies to get destroyed at the end of combat, so you don't really have a huge economic sink. But with sci-fi games, we very much well know, and part of the immersion, part of the gameplay is both building and destroying robots, right? That's the whole point. And by having an economy where players do expect to have their units destroyed, paying that part of the repair cost, paying to rebuild, paying for parts, and if in the worst case scenario, paying for the entire robot again, that makes a lot of sense. That's a huge economic sink and something that can drive the economy forward. So it's kind of what I'm looking for in video games. Next, number one reason why I think this really works is because of the way robots can be built up by parts. You see, we already have a thriving NFT ecosystem right now. And what can use more NFTs than robots? By outfitting your robots, different parts, portions of your robots with different components and parts and customize that. This gives an economy for the whole, or reason to trade those NFTs. I mean, Axies, great, fine, we're trading them, but they're organic beings. You don't really expect to upgrade, customize everything. But with robots, we're kind of in that territory of almost customizing, custom building your PC, right? People, if you look at this, if you're a super nerd like me, you understand. But we love adding new fans, adding new units, adding LED lights to our computers. Same thing goes with robots. In a video game like this, you expect people to trade different parts, different components, customize, improve, and optimize those robots over time. And that gives a big purpose for the NFT market. In fact, right now, what is happening with Meta Wars is that they are having an auction on the Binance Smart Chain right now for loot crates. So if you're interested in customizing your units, if you're interested in participating in that ecosystem early, getting the best parts early, check out the auction. It's going on right now. It won't last too long, but I'll definitely check that out. And there's a kind of a rewards page at the end. And lastly, point number 3, what I really think this game is going to be exciting is because of the war economy. Now hear me out here. One of the biggest concerns for play to earn games is that people can pay to win, right? No one really likes it when a big spender, a big whale comes in and just one clicks a button and just destroys everyone. That's not really fun for any of the players involved, especially if you're on the other end of the beating stick. So this type of game has always given a bad reputation, and a lot of players, they're very concerned about pay to win. Now, the good thing about space games and battle games like this is that there could be a design for different tiers of players. And this is kind of what really excelled in games such as EVE Online. See, in EVE Online, there are really huge ships, capital ships that moves across. They make and can do significant damage to enemy factions, enemy corporations, and of course, make massive profit, because if you disrupt their operations, that's great. But in battles like this, you can't just win with one capital ship. It's not just like, oh yeah, who has more capital ships and who wins. But it's also about the entire army, the entire fleet as well. Everyone has this role in a mega battle like this. So this is where I kind of see this economy and how fighting works in Meta Wars. I see the conflict, the most of the spending to happen, not with just player combat, but with where the corporations are, where the factions and where the guilds are gonna go. Because that is where it really matters. When the guilds are taking over significant amounts of land, everyone in that group, that corporation has a role to play. And yeah, top guild leaders are willing to pay money. Now, there are two types of tokens in Meta Wars, and this is very common in video games right now, and it's been working very well. Especially if you look at what's happening with Axie Infinity, there's a main primary governance token and an in-game token. Now, for Meta Wars, it's pretty much the same. They have the main governance token being Wars. This is what's gonna kind of accrue more value as the player base grows. They also have an in-game currency. This is primarily used by players to repair units, to pay for those warfare, pay for those damages, to grow their own factories. That is the Gamma token. So initially what I'm looking for is, as I'm looking for an early kind of adopter founder of Meta Wars, I'm gonna look at the Wars token. That's gonna be what I'm paying the most attention to. And then I expect kind of the Gamma token to be something that I'll use once I start playing the game. Now let's talk about expectations for this, because right now at the launch, I don't really expect a full video game yet. Definitely in terms of game development, this is still very, very early stage, and there are huge risks to looking at a game this early on. So I'll put all the warnings out there, and I will say, of course, I'm an investor in Meta Wars. I think that's pretty clear from the start. The reason why is obviously I like the type of game and I like the team that's developing it. They seem to be delivering very quickly and making the right design choices. Now, that being said, right now in terms of a roadmap, what I expect early on is I expect these loot boxes, the NFTs, to be traded. It does seem to be one of the easiest and most compelling things about NFT trading right now. People love to trade both parts and units and robots, of course. So that's kind of the early gameplay right now. It's very much on the speculative front, but as the game progresses and does get built, I'm expecting to look for really good multiplayer combat. I'm expecting to look for the economy to see if they can grow that economy to become as massive as what we've been seeing in Axie Infinity. And of course, I'm looking for just that stellar gameplay that, well, we're being promised. I'll put it out there that I'm not expecting major gameplay to come like for a while, but I do expect the NFT trading and that ecosystem to come as one of the first primary features. And that summarizes what I want to talk about for Meta Wars. So if you guys are interested in this type of game, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Also, join our community to talk about it. I have an open public Telegram channel. I'd really like to appreciate if you guys can come in, all chat, have your discussions, tell me what you like, what you don't like. It's a great place for people to gather. And of course, I do have a private group as well. And usually what we do is we promote people who are active into that private group, so we have a good tight-knit community. So that's one of the perks of being part of the Box Mining family. Obviously, I don't have any paid groups. I don't believe in that. I just believe in people really pushing, trying their hardest, sharing their information. That's why there's a 2-group system right now. So anyways, guys, hope you can go join. Telegram down below. And of course, if you have any comments, if you like any other games as well, tell me as well. I'm going heavily into the crypto gaming space. So I hope, we'll produce the best type of content for you. And of course, play some really great games and get rewarded for it. I mean, that is my dream 100%. So anyways, see you next video.